There you go. Now you guys are live.
Okay, so it seems like we're live. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to this round 3 race for the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. This race is going to be between Tristal and Drumboardist. This is going to be the second race between these two. Tristal winning the first one, which means Drumboardist must win this race if he wants to be to continue on this tournament without going to the garden bracket, and it looks like we're off. So right away we get heal 3 on the white magic shop and the silver sword on the weapon shop, so they're gonna do a little fundraising. And yeah, Nuke is also available at level 1, so this is gonna help a lot. So the first class for tonight are the fighter and the thief. Crystal buying some sabers since the silver sword is a little expensive right now. And since there are some cabins in the item shop, I'm guessing we're gonna see a little encounter manipulation from both runners. Tristal already started with it, and so is Drumboardist. Oh, when imps have crack. Always interesting right at the beginning. So, nothing extremely interesting in the Temple of Fiend, some money, and a pro ring. Now, Tristal making some quick work of Garden. He's going to get his brand new bridge and his loot. Drumboardist is gonna follow really shortly. Of course, with all the money they got on the chest and Temple of Fiend, they're both gonna do a little shopping before heading out. I'm guessing Drumboardist is gonna do the same. And Tristal is on the Bridge of Text. Okay, so even with almost 30,000 gold, Drumboardist decided that the silver sword is still a little too expensive. And I think this is a good move considering they've got many more shopping to do in Provoca and Elfland. You want to keep some money for this sweet level 3 and 4 magics.
Well, sorry about that, Dee Dee. I didn't mean to leave you high and dry, but Discord wasn't recognizing my microphone.
That's fine. Don't worry about that.
So they obviously got a lot of money out of Temple of Fiends. Not your first choice, but it's a nice consolation prize.
Yeah, about 27,000 gold in the Temple of Fiend. Another 9,000 in Matoya Cave with the Pro Cape and the Flame Armor.
Flame Armor, a nice piece of defense for your fighter. As you mentioned, one of the forced classes they have to run with.
So this is not the best start you can hope for, but this is still good. Of course those cracked imp are a thing, but they still got nuke, they got heal 3, they got some pretty good armor and a lot of money.
But it's definitely something that's going to force you to save a lot early, as if these runners weren't going to anyways. You always have to be prepared to adapt to what the randomizer gives you.
Yeah, but at least the randomizer gave them some cabins in Canaria.
And level 1 nuke. I mean, how can you complain about a seed that gives you a level 1 nuke? So we'll get our first look at Provoca here and see what the shops have to offer. Life 2.
Life 2.
Life also available, but no reason to buy Life if you're going to get Life 2 instead. Tristal will pass on getting Quadruple X or Bane.
Well, since they got a lot of money and nothing else really interesting in the black magic shop, I think I personally would have taken either Quadruple X or Bane, but this is not really necessary.
Well, also, you know, you're heading to Elfland after this for 1/4 of the magic available in the game, so maybe you want to see what's available over there before you start overcommitting to a secondary spell like those. We'll say hi to the pirates and bye to the pirates.
And
Ice
nothing
Blue always
really
for the
threatening.
troll.
Yeah.
So Tristal will check out the armor shop, see if the pro rings are here. They're not. He does find iron armor.
Yeah, but they already got flame armor from Matoya Cave, so...
Houses now available for 1,600 gold, so Tristal's certainly going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and tents are more expensive than cabins.
So next up we find out if Tristal goes for the dwarfs or he goes for Elfland. You got 2 free chests available in Dwarf Cave, which is a strong argument. You got level 3 and level 4 magic in Elfland, which is a strong argument.
Yeah, looks like he's going to follow the usual strat of saving right under Canaria, heading towards the Dwarf Cave and resetting if there's nothing interesting there.
What's your favorite item you've ever gotten in the Dwarf Cave?
Floater.
That's a good one.
I found the floater once and the mass mune once.
Well, interesting decision by Tristal. Finds the flame sword, which is better than anything he's going to be able to buy, but he will take a pass on that and go to Elfland.
Yeah, especially since Tristal did not buy any silver sword. He's gonna go with the saber and probably hope he's gonna find something good in Marsh Cave. Meanwhile, Drumboardist is getting his flame armor and his pro cape.
They do have
Although-
nuke, which
Yeah.
they do have nuke, which is going to be plenty to take care of most business in the Marsh Cave. So it's not like we think that he's giving up a lot by not having that flame sword. Just that here's a sword that's better than anything you're going to be able to buy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He's got some pretty good spells already. Ice Tree and Nuke. You won't really need any weapons. And Cure 4. And Wall. Wow.
Well, the magic shops just keep giving in this seed. I don't think we'll hear complaints from either runner about the spell selection. There's Harm 4.
The only thing they would really want to have right now is Fade, probably, but... Ooh, Ogres have Blizzard.
Good time to mention what is actually shuffled here. Enemy scripts, skills and spells, and status attacks have all been shuffled.
Yeah, this is always interesting because you cannot know what any enemies got before you encounter them. And this is always fun to watch. To play, not always fun, but to watch, this is always good.
Drumboardist decides the flame sword is not enough to keep out of the dwarf cave, and he will sail on down to Elfland.
I think Tristal skipped the level 4 black magic shop.
His level being what it is, I don't think he has any casts available for that yet, so he might have opted to wait because he knows he has to go back there anyways.
Yeah,
Plus,
probably.
Nuke.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say Warp is on level 4. I think it would be a good idea to grind until level 8 before going to Marsh Cave to get at least one cast of Warp. But this isn't. So, he's fine.
It's a very fair point. It's always good to have Warp or Exit available when you're coming to Marsh Cave, so of course usually you won't.
And since this is the Cave of Ambushes, this is always fun to watch because you have no idea what kind of nasty spell any enemy is gonna have, so getting ambushed by a 7-pack of shadows and realize they have Blaze or something like that is always nice.
And the Scums have Slow, which is not a problem damage-wise, but that time it's going to eat up every time they ambush you and cast that on 4 people, and 3 out of the 4 of them cast it while you can't get away. You're just going to feel the time tick by.
Exactly, but right now spiders and arachnid did not show anything.
Silver bracelet in the top floor, so that'll help armor-wise a bit.
Yeah, always a good pickup in the early game. And one of the 10 gold chests. And the slab for Drumboardist.
Which I expect we'll quickly see out of Tristal as well, so one of our first required items turns up here in the Marsh Cave. Probably makes you glad you didn't get early TNT. And Tristal finds the slab.
So they're gonna walk out of there.
Well, you hate to have to do it, but you certainly are going to do it, and with the slab, imagine both players want to nail that save in and make sure they've got it.
Yeah, they don't want to come back there. walking out is a thing, but going back in is even worse.
And you also probably want to check your level before you hit that house up and make sure you aren't about to level up. Because if you are, level up and then use the house. Rhythm Song making a point in chat that when you go into one of these treasure rooms, if you hug the bottom of the wall, it's not incrementing your encounter step count, so it helps avoiding fights when you do that.
Yeah, I learned about that during my second round. For now, there's nothing really nasty inside the marsh cave. I mean, ghouls got stun touch, but this is nothing extraordinary.
So this is one of the very interesting floors to route. You have multiple treasure rooms here, obviously, but some of these treasure chests are linked. So Tristal walked right by that first room, which does have a treasure chest, but if you look at a map that maps the mirroring, he's going to pick that same treasure up in another room.
Yeah, the TNT. This is the link chest.
And he also walked by 3 other treasure chests that were the same. Because he went to the north side of the cave first, he picked the treasures up there instead of in a different place he could have, because it was faster.
Yeah, and he's got lucky enough to encounter only 2 wizards and his new going out right away.
And he'll pick up level 8 for his trouble.
And of course he's gonna check all the other chests on the bottom floor, because you really don't want to have to come back here.
Indeed, and you never know what else is going to be here. Obviously he's got the TNT and slab, which are 2 very big items to have picked up so far, but Floater could still be sitting in here, so not something you want to miss. Or even something not required like a ribbon.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't even find a ribbon, or since they both got a fighter, finding even the Sun Sword would be worthwhile. Yeah, Drumboardist picking the TNT on the first room. Ooh, Great Wolf got lit 3.
What were you saying about it being... Cause you didn't call it a warm, cuddly marsh cave, but not seeing anything that bad?
Yeah, it was about time. They got some good spells, so give us something at least. We want to see something nasty. I mean, Tristal and Drumboardist probably don't, but we do.
Now, I suspect what we'll see out of Tristal is he'll pick that first treasure chest this time, knowing that's the one with TNT, and get out of there, hopefully avoiding the wolves altogether. Ice Blue saying that Drum is in the lead. Little early to say that. He didn't find the wolves yet.
And it seems like Drumboardist is not aware that the top left chest and the one in the room he just came out of are linked.
And it's just something that takes practice if you're not familiar with it. Being asked in chat if there were any other chests that Tristal didn't see. I believe he got to all the ones that were not locked, but I may be off on that.
I don't think he got the top right one. But maybe I was just looking at Drumboard's screen when he did.
Okay, chat saying that the one east of the wizards in the top right room he did not get to. He finds the wolves again, and is probably
Yeah.
very happy to see them not cast a spell.
Yeah,
it was the regular wolves that...
Yeah, it was the grey
Okay.
Gur wolf. I'm not sure if it means grey, great.
I always just say they're angry.
Yeah. Angry enough to learn Lit 3.
That'll make you angry as a runner.
Oh yeah, that would.
I think the first time I picked up the randomizer, I didn't really know how to do the settings, and my introduction to the game was Imps with Scorch.
Oh, nice.
So just to recap a couple things again real fast, in this round of the tournament they have two forced classes. They are the Fighter and the Thief. They are here in the Marsh Cave where they found the slab and the TNT, and now they gotta get out of here. Which it looks like Drumboardist is in the process of doing.
Yeah, he's been lucky enough not to encounter those Lit 3 wolves. So, as of now, they got no real good weapon, but they got both the flame and the ice armor.
Well, they'll both pick up the flame sword out of the dwarf cave when they go back to drop off the TNT, so that is coming. The other thing we didn't talk about is the scale on prices and stats. For prices in the shop, they could be only 1/3 of vanilla, or they could be 300% of vanilla. And enemy stats, they're looking at a maximum increase of 220%.
That's still a lot.
It is. When I've been playing just runs for myself, I've been doing it 250%, so comparable to these.
And we
There's the
just learned-
Gerwolves.
There we go.
And Remortis just got introduced to them.
At least he got introduced to them after clearing out of the Marsh Cave. We also learned that Geist got cremate.
Now, the other thing that I think significantly changes your strategies, possibly in this round versus other rounds, is the experience and gold boost that they get, particularly the experience boost. In the first round, they were getting 5 times experience plus an extra 500 points. In this round, they're only getting 4 times, which, when you think about 1,000 experience multiplied by 5 instead of 4, that's pretty substantial. So we'll change your levels, and you might want to get into a couple more select fights to pick up experience.
It also makes the grinding a little longer. If they do decide to grind, that is.
Good question in chat. If the runners know their opponent's party choice, well, they know 50% of it at least. But I don't think either one of them would be surprised to learn the other picked the exact same party.
I mean, if you're forced to pick a fighter and a thief, a red and black mage are pretty much the logical choice. Although I would have probably gone with a red and white. But I mean, you want to have both black and white magic.
Yeah, you'd hate to miss out on Nuke or Warp because it was sitting there at level 6 and the red mage couldn't learn it. But in this seed with level 1 Nuke, you probably would have been pretty happy with that red mage choice. Thank you, Nirik, for your noble sacrifice in using the TNT, only to never be seen again.
So, another thing that is worth mentioning in round 3 seed is that Ice Cave is incentivized. So, which means they can find either a mass mune, a ribbon, or any of the key items in the floater chest. Of course, the floater could still be vanilla because none of them has found it.
An excellent question in chat. If runners are allowed to restart and change their party, of course they are, but I don't think we've ever seen anybody want to give up the time to do that. Well, but I'm being told somebody has, just not something I've seen personally. But you would automatically be ceding something like a minute or two to your opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the only real good reason to do it is if you find some really good spell and don't have the mage to cast it, but you won't really know it before Elfland.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe one circumstance where I would is if I had Life 2 and Nuke learnable at level 1 by a red mage. Maybe I would want to go out, ditch the white and black mages for red mages, but even then, how much do you gain for just a little bit more offense by melee weapon? Probably not enough to really justify it.
Yeah, otherwise you're just giving your opponent some time, so you don't want to do it.
Now, conversely, if I brought a red mage, found out he couldn't learn level 1, something that I really wanted, then I might reset and replace him with a white mage if Fade was sitting there and he couldn't learn it.
Yeah, if Fade was in the arm slot.
So
Although,
Drumboardist getting his way over to Crescent Lake now.
Yeah, running away from those trolls and bulls. And those giant. Probably hoping you would run into some EX speeds. Oh, and he's taking this giant fight.
Well, he ran with 3 of the party members, and he went ahead and had Nuke cast Nuke
Okay.
in case he couldn't get away. We got Sleep with the ogres.
We got some pretty nasty ogres. Sleep Touch and Blizzard.
Gold bracelets for sale here in Crescent Lake. Usually a good idea to know where that is. Fade at level 6.
And Warp. And Fire Tree and Lit Tree at level 6.
But he can't get the warp. He will not be ecstatic about that. It's just sitting there teasing you. So Drumboardist will save, and looks like he might want a level or 2 before he goes to the volcano.
Yeah, as mentioned in the chat, Warp can help really a lot if you need to go to Ordeal with some shuffled teleports. Because if you mess up, you can use Warp to come back one pillar and try the other one.
Just had a great point made by Rhythm Song, and it's worth touching on. Could be a pretty significant find to get Tail because it would open up Nuke being available for the Thief.
Yeah, that's right. And since the Thief is forced, Ninja is always much better than the Thief.
Stun touch from the trolls, but thankfully you can't have too many of them at once, so...
Sure, this is
Drum.
on. Yeah, go ahead.
We've seen Drum kind of moving a little bit further ahead than Tristal at the moment, and looks like he'll probably be the first one to the volcano.
Yeah. And question in the chat, no, we have not seen Fast yet, we only seen Temper right now. Yeah, as I was going to say, this is only a personal opinion, but I feel like the Thief is the class that benefit the most from the class change.
And that would be hard to argue with. I don't believe we've seen Exit either, have we?
No, we have not.
Okay.
So right now we have to fall back to plan what the spells that are usually plan B, which are Warps and Temper instead of Fast and Exit.
So we're gonna get our first look at chests in the volcano, courtesy of Drumboardist, and you'll be hoping not to have anything too trolly along the way.
He's got the Ice Sword, which is a nice pickup, but not what you're looking for. Meanwhile, Tristal's selling some equipment in order to buy the Warp spell. And the floater in the cluster of chests.
That is a very nice find.
So, as things are now, the only thing they can hope to find in Ice Cave if they happen to go there would be the crown.
Well, those EX beads ran over Nuke like he was nothing, but Life 2 quickly solves that issue. Looks like Drumboardist might actually be thinking about leaving and saving with that floater. Couldn't fault him for that. Wouldn't even fault him if he went and got the airship. And of course, he's taking as many lava tiles as he can because he will not encounter a fight on them.
Yeah, because in this kind of seed, you never know what you can run into. In round two, you know what you. I mean, if you run into some red goals, you know they can hit you with some nasty spell. But in this case, you have no idea what's got what. So
he's gonna pick up the power gauntlet, which is a nice find.
Yeah, this is one of the better pieces of equipment you can run into.
They also did pick up the Bane Sword, which is not a bad thing at all. In fact, I'm thinking if it were me, I might slap that in the White Mage's inventory, or Dead's inventory, the Thief's inventory, and use that in these situations where I'm going to fight, just because if it clears out 3 or 4 of them, you're that much better off.
And Tristal is going to get his floater right after this pack of 4 EX speeds.
And by the way, I always like to make the case for and against everything. The reason not to use Bane Sword is it would take more time. Gargoyles, we'll see what we get here. I always wait to see how they're going to troll me, and that's how they're going to troll us. They're going to use stone to use glance.
Yep, and Drumboardist just uses only soft.
And now he's just going to have to be in wait and see and hope mode. Because that's probably not going to be your last Arc Gargoyles. I always like looking at strategy options, and Thalfon bringing up the idea of reviving the Thief for another target. Certainly some merit to that.
Yeah, this is pretty much the only reason to keep a Thief alive.
Looks like Tristal is going to use the same strategy of get out of here and save with the floater.
And Tristal don't have the floater. Oh boy.
People are saying he didn't, but he was in the room.
Yeah, he was in the room, but he ran into a pack of 4 EXP right beside the chest, and I think he forgot to pick it up. And I know this feeling way too well.
Well, this could make a lot of things interesting. It comes down to whether or not you remembered that you left that chest. If he remembers...
Boy. I really hope he does, but... I feel like he just forgot to pick the chest and he... Oh my god. Yeah, I know, I did the exact same thing. I lost my final race against Files because of a move like that. I ran into a forced encounter, forgot to pick a chest, went out, picked all other chests, and the one I forgot happened to have the floater in.
Now, even if he doesn't remember that it was there, there's not that many places he can go from here without the floater, and he gets rudely introduced to Glance from...
Well, just like I did, he can still clear Ice Cave, Ordeals, and Earth Cave before realizing he forgot the floater in the volcano.
Well, if he doesn't find Ruby, then he's not even going to be able to full clear Earth Cave. So...
Yeah, but still clearing Ice Cave, Ordeals, and the first 3 floors of Earth Cave is gonna set him way back.
This is true.
And
Yeah,
that is...
we're still speculating.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing the exact same thing, and the problem with that is that after I opened the final chest in Earth Cave, the one behind the vampire, I realized there was nothing useful in there, and at that point I was just, which chest did I forget? Because he probably don't even know we forgot this particular one, so if the same thing is happening to Tristal right now, he's gonna open everything he can, and when he's going to open the final chest he can open, he's just gonna think, which one did I forget, and probably won't even remember which one it was. I mean, I hope this won't happen to him, but I feel like this is what's going on right now.
More gargoyles, and you're gonna really hope to get away without that. I think he's got one soft left. Nope, that was it. I don't know what Tristal is thinking, but my thought process at this point would be check the other chests as long as I'm able to, and then reset and go to one that's got something good. Otherwise, just move on in the dungeon and have those softs in the bank rather than try and run this rest of this without them.
Yeah.
And it looks like he did reset. And I believe he's going for the power gauntlet, yeah. So he remembered where that was.
Drumboardist got the Aegis Shield.
Did we get a look at Tristal's inventory?
We did when he went out to save, and that's where I realized he did not have the floater.
Alright, so again, he's walking through the lava here. And that would be truly unfortunate for him. And without knowing it, he will have to root for Crown to be in some place he has to go anyways at this point, because he's going to end up checking places that can't have the floater. but if one of them has the crown, that can possibly bail you out a little bit. Although even then, you're going to end up going places like the Marsh Cave and finding them not having the floater.
Yeah, exactly. You need the floater to finish the game, so the more place he's going to open, the more time he's gonna waste.
I think with a missed floater, if I were going to try and guess his best case scenario, I'd probably go with Ordeals. Just because that's going to be the last place either runner would go looking for something.
Yeah. I mean, that would depend if neither... if he goes to Ice Cave, since this is incentivized and you don't find the floater, you don't get the ruby, he's probably going to Ordeals and then Earth Cave, hoping the floater or the ruby are in any of those chests. But we both know the floater won't be there.
So if it's not immediately obvious, we're looking at two very good runners who are not going to make that many mistakes. And it, in a lot of ways, becomes a battle of execution. So even a small mistake, how small is the mistake of one treasure chest? But boy, when it's the right one.
Yeah. This is pretty much the worst thing that can happen.
So, by the way, we're seeing a different strategy play out here with Drumboardist using just the 3 people. Obviously, he could have revived the thief if he wanted to, but he's taking the bonus experience for everybody else. And that's already paid off with about 3 or 4 more levels than Tristal has.
Yeah, and that thing alone, I feel like the Drumboardists don't want to go class change, so that's why keeping the thief alive wouldn't be profitable at all. So he's just gonna level up those 3, and maybe if he happen to find the tail, he's going to class change, but he won't really need to.
And it looks like we are going to see an Agma grind, although it'll be interesting to see what level he goes to. I would guess with the mages, somewhere in the 20s is his target.
It seems like these Agama roll pretty high HPs. Tristal, to answer the question in the chat, Tristal never found the floater. He ran into an encounter right beside the chest, and after the encounter he just went off before checking it. So we have no idea where the floater is.
Yeah, one other thing I didn't mention back at the time it happened, but I believe it was Drumboardist we saw go right away, talk to Dr. Un, and translate the slab, which is something I very much like when you're in that situation. Go ahead and get it done so that you can't forget it later, because I have forgotten it later, and that's not fun either.
No, I forgot to translate it way too often. And I usually notice that I forgot to translate the slab when I get into Lefane, and something just turned on in my brain saying, "Hey dude, you did not talk to Dr. Room." And just to make sure, I talked to the first guy in Lefane, and usually he's just saying Lupa.
Do the same thing. I've just gotten so paranoid about it at this point. Basically, unless I have come straight from talking to the good doctor, I talked to that first one just to find out instead of walking all the way over to the one that gives you the chime.
But even though this is a long walk from the airship to Lefane, and you don't want to do it twice.
And it's being asked in chat how much of a lead this is for Drumboardist, and Honestly, I don't like even calling something a lead until go mode. That's probably more me personally than anybody else. But it's like, until you have found everything, you have not found everything. And it's not like Drumboardist is sitting there with the crown and able to do everything while Tristal isn't. So, I mean, we've already seen one great runner make a mistake here. There's no reason we can't see another.
But right now, Drumboardist is still in advance because I really feel like Tristal don't know which chest he forgot. Otherwise, there's no reason why he wouldn't have come back to pick it.
Absolutely, he would have made a beeline for it if he had remembered.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna open the final chest he can open, and he's just gonna realize suddenly that he forgot one somewhere.
And, you know, as much as we're talking about this, I gotta say, if you're gonna make that mistake, you'd probably rather make it with the floater than any other item, because any other item is gonna let you get very deep in the game before you're gonna be blocked. Here we're only talking about 3 dungeons he can go to. He can go to Ice, he can go to Ordeals, he can go to Earth. Those are his only options. So as soon as he full clears those, looking for Floater and Crown, then he's gonna stop and he's gonna have to think, okay, it's gotta be Marsh or it's gotta be Volcano.
Yeah, exactly. Although, when this happened to me, the first place where I went was the Eye Chest in Ice Cave, because there is a force fight before it, and I was wondering if I opened that one. When I realized this wasn't the Eye Chest, I had absolutely no idea which one I forgot, so sadly I had to forfeit, and after that I think Czar told me it was in the one of the trap chests on the first floor of Volcano. I went back and just had fun for until Files was finished with his race. But
we get our first look at Carrie, and we see that she's gonna hit pretty hard.
But yeah, I know that feeling way too well, and this is not good. Ooh, Eel is going down.
And before the Cure 4 could get off, this is a fight very much in doubt.
She also got a lot of HPs. And there goes Nuke.
Doesn't get it. He won't even get the chance.
Oh my god.
And that means he lost all the grinding too, I believe. Yeah, he's down to level 14. So that's probably a 5 to 8 minute time loss right there, and he's gonna leave.
Yeah, he's gonna go get his airship. He's probably going to open all the chests in Zardi Island and probably Titan Tunnel, hoping something there is gonna help him go past Carrie.
So, Thalfon, trying to bring my words back against me, I think this would qualify as an inverse commentator's curse, because I was saying don't take anything for granted, and we see something very unfortunate happen to Drumboardist, but also Tristal still has that ahead as well, so one more party member, maybe some more levels, and we'll see what the difference is.
So right now, knowing he's going against Tristal, Drumboardist is probably thinking he's way behind right now.
That would be a fair guess, especially after you just wiped against the Fiend, and for all you know, Tristal brought a black belt who one-shotted Carrie. So that might cause him to pick up the airship and then go for a gamble. Someone's saying Carrie hits like a trick. Well, it is almost Halloween time.
this Drumboardist, no, there's nothing really important in that volcano, so when he's coming back, he's gonna head straight to carry. This should be quick. He's probably going to grind somewhere else just in case.
And I think we're going to see Drum go for the islands here and see what free treasure chest is available to him.
Nothing really interesting on this first island. Think they're either. There's still three chests to go.
He's also still got the Titan's Cave with its 4 chests he's not been to yet.
Oh. That's probably where he's going right now.
Other option would have been to go to the waterfall since he was already in that part of the world.
And Crystal is up against Carry.
Well, let's see how this goes. He did some party rearranging, that's interesting. So the thief will have the greatest chance of being hit first.
Oh!
And that is what happens.
Almost 700 damage on Carry 1 is huge.
Heal staff, kind of the highlight of the Titan's Cave, so not much to speak of there. And even with the buffs, not a lot of damage out of the fighter. Ink on round 2. We did not see that with the Drumboardist. But that's got to be a very welcome sight after you've seen a 700 damage hit.
And another 500 on the third round. While Tristal rolled really low on his nuke damage.
And again, this carry could have up to 220% of vanilla HP, and that's probably... We're looking at the high end of that range.
Oh, he's fine.
He got it. Better make sure that Black Mage is full health.
Oh boy.
He's more of a gambler than I am. I wouldn't have taken a step without of healing to full.
Neither would I.
And
Seriously,
Drumboardist has gone to the Ice Cave, it looks like.
Yeah, but well, since this is incentivized, this is the logical choice. Yeah, I looked at Crystal's screen during the carry fight, and I don't think his nuke rolled over 150 damage even once.
A good question in chat, if a wipe would have been beneficial to Tristal in making him go through treasure chests again. I don't actually think he would have picked up the one that he missed, because he thought he already had been to it. He would have only gone to a treasure chest he had, like the Power Gauntlet, that he knew had something. So I think that was probably best case for Tristal.
Yeah, I feel the same way. He would have taken his Power Gauntlet and rushed straight toward Gary.
Well, actually, I think if he had wiped, he probably would have opted for the same thing Drumboardist did, which is go somewhere else for now and come back in 20 more levels.
Yeah. We still haven't seen anything nasty in Ice Cave up to that point.
So the other nice thing about doing a volcano grind, is you usually come out with enough gold to pick up some good equipment, and Tristal picks up the gold bracelets that Drumboardist did not. So in the language I like to use, I'd say Drumboardist has an advantage at this point in that he has one of the required items. I had to stop myself because I was thinking, why isn't Tristal going and getting the airship? Oh yeah, because that.
Yeah.
But still, the required item is a significant advantage, but I don't even like to try and guess who has a lead until they actually go into Temple of Fiends. But Tristal's going to opt to go to the Ice Cave. It makes perfect sense with where he is and thinking that the floater is not in the volcano. So it's exactly the right play. Not surprising, that's the one he's making. The really interesting call to me, I think, is going to be, what does Tristal do next? Because obviously he's not going to find the floater in Ice Cave. If he gets Crown, then obviously that makes his next play easy, an easy decision. But if he doesn't find either one, do you sail south, go to Ordeals, because that's the shortest trip you're ever going to have? Or do you say, I'm sticking with the required places first and going to Earth Cave?
I would say that would probably depend if he find the ruby or not. Because, as you said, we know he won't find the floater in there, but he could still find the ruby.
What were you saying about not finding anything nasty in the Ice Cave?
I'm just trying to curse them. We all want to see something nasty.
Oh, those crazy stones when you don't have a ribbon. Which bears mention, we have not found a ribbon at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
So of course, watch that be what's in the eye-guarded chest.
Well, it could very well be.
Drumboardist getting plenty of money and about to get our first look at the eye. And bye-bye to the eye.
I have the feeling we might see him. We might see him again soon.
That could be. Drumboardist didn't get his branding out of Volcano. I called it. There's that ribbon. So ribbon, not the ideal item to find, but you're never going to be upset about finding one.
Oh no, you won't. This is one of the only items you could still be looking for if you get every key items. And yeah, he's gonna grind on the eye. I think this is a smart move.
So it's being asked how Tristal stood on the hole. Well, he stretched his legs very wide, and he got them on either side of the hole so that he wouldn't fall down.
Either that or he was holding on the chest.
Thor's hammer picked up here in the Ice Cave. Not a bad item, although they did already have Zeus Gauntlet, but between those I actually prefer Thor's hammer because I need armor spots more than weapon.
Yeah,
and we might see Drumboardist get a few levels here since he lost his grinding out of the fire out of Volcano.
Yeah, he's grinding on the eye. The eye till now is pretty tame, so this is a right move.
People in chat answering questions before we can. What were the forced party members? They were the fighter and the thief. That would be hard to tell watching this if you just walked in, considering they're both using the same parties. So I think Tristal is now starting to wonder a little bit.
Yeah, but he's still got 2 dungeons he can do.
So he's got 4 more treasure chests to open here.
So right now he's probably thinking either Ordeal or Cave. But since he got no Ruby, no Floater, I think Ordeal would be the right move.
I always try and make the case in my mind for either strategy when I'm watching good runners like this. Why might they do either one? So I touched on this earlier. The biggest advantage to going to Ordeals now is if you have to, this is geographically the closest you're going to be. If you go all the way over to the Earth Cave only to find out you have to go to Ordeals, that's a lot of time loss. So, significant factor in knowing that there's Ordeals. It's a pretty quick dungeon, and you're not going to be closer.
And since he's got some charges of Warp, Ordeals should be pretty fast.
You've also got Nuke, so you're not worried about enemy levels. And he's sailing up. Is that faster than sailing south? Because I would
I'm not
assume,
sure.
based on this, he's going to Ordeals. And after finishing Ice Cave, Drumboardist decides he wants to take another shot at Carry.
I don't know if Ordeals is faster going south or north. I would have to count the tiles, but I feel like they're about the same. I mean, they're about the same if you go north exactly at the right spot. Because I usually go north when I'm going to Ordeals, and I know after I go over Matoya's cave, I have to sail for about 4 to 5 seconds before going north, and I'm getting straight at the right place.
So our first look at Castle Ordeals. This is not incentivized, but very important to note that the teleporters are shuffled in this round. So it's not the vanilla, just take the low one, but you might have to do a lot of checking and gotta keep track of where you're going.
Yeah, because you can run into some really trolly seed where Castle of Ordeal is one of the pillars is gonna send you to somewhere where you feel you're in the right place, just to realize 3 pillars later that this was not. But yeah, Tristal using the warp strategy.
And as many people may be familiar, he's walking by a room that does have a treasure chest in it, but we've talked already about the mirrored treasure chests. This is one of them. So the reason to bypass this room is you're going to walk by another treasure chest that has the same contents anyways.
Yeah, this is the bottom left chest, the final room. And Drumboardist is going for another round with Carry.
And Tristal has navigated the Warp Pillar Maze. Those nightmares can be non-trivial because I find that they really like to get the high end of an evade roll.
Oh boy. Tristal just found the ruby.
Well, makes his next decision pretty easy. Actually, the one thing that could change his decision would be if he finds the crown. But bear in mind, if he didn't find the crown in here, he was still going to have to full clear Earth Cave anyways, unless he did find the crown. So,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a terrible find.
To answer your question in the chat, the ruby is bad because Crystal forgot to open the floater chest in the volcano, which means finding the ruby is just giving him more chests to open in Earth Cave.
Remember what I said that I wouldn't take a step without full healing after a rough fiend fight? Drumboardist didn't do that. GG on getting past carry, but you're not out of here yet, and these are unrunnable fires.
Yeah, and they are pretty beefy fires too.
Although if he can get the one dead, he might be able to out-heal these things. He'll use the Power Gauntlet instead. And just take his chances trying to out-hit him. At 21 damage, he can go through a few hits before they get him. And he gets through it. Now will he heal without taking another step?
Meanwhile, Tristal is done with the Castle of Ordeal, and we all know where he's going next.
Well, he added a little bit of health. Okay. Now he sees the wisdom in what I said. Even without hearing me, but he started to pick up on my wavelength. So now for Tristal, the decision is pretty easy. You're going to go to Titan's Cave, you're going to check those 4 treasure chests, get the rod, and go full clear the Earth Cave.
Exactly.
Has a few more options available to him, because with the airship and the slab,
well, it's pretty much wide open for him. He can go anywhere.
Yeah. Now he didn't go to the waterfall, he didn't get the cube, and I don't think we've seen the bottle anywhere yet. So
No.
Probably checking the item shop up by the ferry would make the most sense right now. And then if you don't find the ferry there,
I like to
You're
check
gonna-
the oasis before going to Gaia. Just because you can land right on it, and if the bottle happens to be vanilla, you can save a trip.
and being asked in chat which chests are mirrored, my best recommendation on that is to look at maps that mark chest contents, and you'll be able to see overlapping ones. And Tristal didn't check the 4 treasure chests. He fed the Titan and he walked right by him. Well, I gotta imagine he'll go back there, though.
Yeah, he's probably going to to check them on the way back.
I suppose it's the same difference either way, but I guess I'm just paranoid about myself. I'd be too afraid that I'd forget.
Yeah, since that time when I forgot the floater chest, now I'm a little paranoid too.
So we're about an hour in. Let's do a couple quick recap points. For our runners, they had 2 forced party members in this round. For this seed, they were the fighter and the thief. They had to go to the Marsh Cave, which is where they found both the TNT and the slab. From there, they went to the volcano, where both runners found the Power Gauntlet, and Drumboardist found the floater. Tristal is still looking for it. Both have now been... Tristal has also been to Ordeals. I don't recall anything of note coming out of there.
The ruby.
Correct. That's how he just got there. And he will go check those treasure chests, which I think the highlight was a flame shield and a heal staff.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning that Nuke was level 1, so this made the class change for the thief much more appealing.
So Drumboardist did make the decision to go to Earth Cave, which is interesting.
Yeah, I feel like for him it was just a gamble. Since he wiped on carry, he must feel like he's behind and he's trying some stuff. Since he got the slab, he's probably figuring that Crystal went straight to Sky Castle and Mirage Tower, where there are the most chests. And he's just hoping to find the crown in Earth Cave right now.
A very excellent point, and the strategy would make perfect sense for him to do that. So by the way, these Earths unrunnable in the Earth Cave, did we just see Death Touch, or was that just a really hard hit?
No, that was 125 damage.
Okay. I blinked and the thief was dead. And we know that Death Touch is still out there, so...
Yeah. Earth having that touch would be pretty interesting in Temple of Fiend, though. But no, this was just a really good hit on the thief. And since Drumboardist doesn't care about his thief, he just let him die.
So I'll say this, Earth Cave is never my favorite one to route through, especially with these narrow corridors with the bat. Oh, there's the light 3, and just in case we forgot about it.
He got ambushed. And there it goes.
3 casts of light 3 he gets to eat, but he's got the
4.
life 2. Ooh.
And lucky
He's
for
got
him,
the life
White
too,
Mage
so if he can-
survived.
If he can get out of this fight, he knows he can survive and carry on, but he's got to get out.
Nope, he just reset.
Okay.
Oh boy. So... Great Wolf got Lit 3 and Stun Touch. So just in case being ambushed by 4 of them and lit to death was not enough, they're gonna stun you in place until they can cast another one. I love it.
When we did our recap, I think I forgot to mention that the incentivized treasure chest in Ice Cave was a ribbon.
Yeah, that's right.
And the bats being bats. I don't even call them trolls anymore. I think that's an insult to trolls.
Yeah, I mean, there are some really bad bats, but the worst you can run into is the vampire hallway bat. I actually don't remember who that happened to, but I remember there was someone in this tournament who ran into 2 bats in the vampire hallway.
And Drumboardist gets his They have Scorch too?
Okay, so Great Wolf just got everything. They got... Okay, they got Lit 3, they got Scorch, they got Old, and they got Stun Touch.
Oh my.
Anything else?
Oh my, what if they're sitting there with Nuke and they just haven't gotten that deep in their shuffle yet?
Yeah, because we only saw their first 2 spells. They got Frost?
Alright, well, obviously you don't want to fight them again.
Oh my god.
What do you even say to that? That just, if there's any good in that, it's that you're hoping you're not going to see too many of them after you get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost too much on the same enemies. Just leave nothing to the others. Oh, Spectre got Squint.
And Cremate, just Cremate in this fight as well.
And
The
both
ice-
Geist and Spectre rolled pretty high HP.
The Ice 3 not very effective, but Drumboardist will get out of that fight. So Tristal is obviously never to be taken lightly. You notice the fact that here they are pretty neck and neck on the same floor, and Tristal's done an extra dungeon.
Yeah. And Drumboardist just got his second ribbon, by the way. But yeah, Tristal, they're pretty much neck and neck. Tristal complete another dungeon. This is pretty much the... Well, Drumboardist wipe on carry that made the difference right now. Oh, Drumboardist running into another pack of Great Wolf.
Ice Blue making a good point in chat that Drumboardist also did check the islands, which is a very good point, but I don't think that's as time consuming as going to Ordeals.
Yeah, I
So-
feel like the difference right now is this wipe on carry. Drumboardist had to complete Volcano twice, while Tristal completed it in his first run.
So I think best case scenario for Tristal at this point would be if Crown is not in here, because then his options are very limited.
Oh yeah, you don't... I wouldn't want him to go back into Marsh Cave to notice there's nothing back in there. I mean, but not that much.
So we say goodbye to the vampire. And Drumboardist moves to the lower floors of the Earth Cave.
And Tristal got 8 more chests to open before realizing he forgot one somewhere.
And I think it'd be very interesting to see what his reaction to that will be. I imagine his first thought might even be Mayoda's Cave. Did he ever go back there? Or because I think he reset because nothing of note was in the treasure chests, and then he might be thinking that I missed one of the 3 and leave too early. So that would be another possibility. Or will he realize right away it had to be the volcano? And again, this predicated on him not finding the crown here.
I feel like now my reaction when I realized I forgot a chest would be to check all those trap ones. Just in case I did the same mistake as I did before and ran into a fight.
Asked in chat, how high would the treasure room be on the list of things to check? I think the first thing... Well, I think it's a toss-up. Do you go where the most treasure chests were, or do you go where the easiest treasure chests were? And I think we just saw the pause from Tristal. It was about a second or two.
And
But
I'll
it was
be honest, I went to his channel just to see his reaction when he opened the final chest, and I'm not going to say it out loud right here.
Are you saying you didn't need to read lips to tell what he was saying?
No, that was loud and clear even when the sound was muted.
Okay, so as...
This is pretty much the same reaction I had when this happened to me.
And let's not undersell what Tristal is doing here. As frustrating as this moment is, he missed maybe a half second of a beat. Maybe a half second. He stopped there and looked at that cloth. before he was right back in it and continuing to run. And that's such an advantage in the race when you can keep your head, however frustrated you are, and do the next thing you have to do.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting to see where he's going from now.
So, what decision has he made? Where is he going to go from here? He's going to have to get back to the ship before we can tell for sure. And he takes about another half second there, maybe, to think about it. And here's where Drumboardist has his greatest opportunity to make some time here. He will get past Lich. And both of our runners will now have 2 of the orbs restored.
Yep. Now we'll see where Drumboardist is going from there.
Well, he does not have the bottle yet, so either he finds it in one of these 2 shops, or I imagine he'll pick up the cube and go to Sky Castle.
And there's no bottle at the Oasis, so it's either in Gaia or on Rack.
So he'll land here, probably go into Onrak.
Yeah. Probably going to check on Rack Shop and the Waterfall Cave.
Since I'm here, I would definitely go to the Waterfall Cave, regardless of finding the bottle or not. And I would do Mirage Tower first.
And Tristal is going back to Volcano.
Okay, so he's made the right choice in Dungeon. Is he gonna remember it to the chest? If he remembers this to the chest, I will applaud him.
And we got the bottle in Unrack.
He'll take a quick look at the magic shops.
Well,
Invis 2 is here.
Yep.
And learnable. Oh, did Tristal not save before going into the volcano, or did I miss it? He didn't do it on the last step.
I'm not sure.
I mean, his levels should be good at this point, but boy, Stone Touch could still mess you up, although he does have 2 ribbons now that I think about it.
And he's going to find his floater pretty quick, which is really good for him.
So he made the decision,
and right now,
I'll go to the biggest set of treasure chests I can find, and it was the right call. I said I'd applaud him if he got it to the chest. I think getting it to the room is applause-worthy. So he'll immediately go for airship now, I would assume. Did he save after getting it? Again, I'm paranoid. I would save right away.
Right now I feel like he's trying to save every second he can save. Because right now, what makes this race interesting right now is that both runners are probably sure they're both behind.
He did opt to go ahead and make that little save, which I just think there's so much to gain by that and so little to lose.
Mud Golems got lit too.
So
With
we're about to get a look at the treasure chests here. And Tristal's going to pick up his airship, and you got to imagine he feels behind after going back to the volcano.
Yeah. So right now Tristal is pretty sure he's behind because of this small mistake that cost him a lot of time. And Drumboardist is probably thinking he's behind because he wiped on carry and he went to Earth Cave first to no avail.
Tristal does not find the bottle in the oasis, so it looks like he's going to head to Gaia. The white shirt is found shortly after picking up Invis 2, but a high level Invis 2, you're certainly happy about finding the white shirt.
And he opens his bottle, he's gonna meet the fairy in Gaia, get his Axial, and we'll see where he's going from there. Personally, I would probably go towards Sky Castle, but if you feel like he's behind, he might gamble Sea Shrine. Although he already gambled Earth Cave and found nothing in there, so let's see where Drumboardist is going from now.
Which makes a very good point, actually, that if he felt behind after the carry wipe and went to Earth Cave only to not get rewarded with his last item for Go mode, Drumboardist might be sweating us a little on his end and looking to take another gamble.
Well, he's going to get his chime first. Yeah, okay, he's going there.
Yeah, I just think this is too easy of a play not to make it. You're in this neck of the woods. Go straight. I think it's easier to get the treasure chests in Mirage Tower, certainly, but I think Sky Castle is easier to get through than Sea Shrine, personally.
Yeah, there are much less unrunnable encounters in Sky Castle. And the unrunnables in Sea Shrine are really annoying, especially this 9 Sahag pack.
And someone putting out in chat they don't think that Tristal has slab translated. I think they're correct. I don't think he did do that yet.
I think he did, actually. I might be wrong, but I think he did translate the slab.
I know he saw Drumboardist do it right away at the first chance he had.
I think Tristal went to translate it when he got to Melmond and checked the level 5 magic shop too. I might be wrong, but I think he did translate it. Yeah, as Ice Blue is pointing out in the chat, he doesn't have the slab in his inventory, so he did translate it.
Yes, and we definitely saw him get that, so no question. Well, since someone asked where Slab was, why don't I take a moment and recap what we've seen and where we've seen it. We saw the TNT in the slab, both in the Marsh Cave, in the volcano. We saw the Power Gauntlet and the floater. Tristal missed it the first time, unfortunately had to go back. Tristal found the ruby in Ordeals. Then in the Ice Cave incentive chest, we saw a ribbon. In the Earth Cave, we saw the second ribbon. And we have seen the white shirt here in the Waterfall Cave, which Tristal just found.
More importantly, we saw Drumboardist making stakes for everyone.
And the sides go to war in chat.
Oh, he's gonna let this one live. I'm disappointed.
So major items we haven't seen. Crown is the required one that has not been found yet. We've also not seen the Moss Immune. There's a third ribbon out there someplace. And we have not seen the tail, so class change is not an option as of yet.
We have not seen the... have we seen the Adamant?
We have not.
So in both cases, since the fighter was a forced blast anyway, you want either the Mass Immune or the Adamant. And we got the Crown.
Crown is in Mirage. It's a great find for Drumboardist, although he may not realize at the moment.
So right now, if you're Drumboardist, are you just rushing toward the end?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Drum has only found one of the ribbons.
He's got two.
He did find both. Okay, I thought that was Tristal had both. Chat's confirming that he has 2. So yeah, what my definition of go mode is take easy treasure chests. So like in Sea Shrine, I'd end up getting 3 treasure chests out of there because they're just too convenient not to spend the extra 3 steps to get them.
Yeah, and there are also 2 right on your path on the another floor.
Yeah, and in fact, in the Sky Castle, there's the treasure room above the staircase, and I would get that one too.
Yeah, I always
take
pick
those
that one.
easy ones.
Oh, looks
And
like
this is a
Drumboardist
good
is
one,
checking
too.
those chests.
This is a good one too. I like this as well and would do it myself just because it is so fast to check these treasure chests.
Yeah, and he's gonna pick this gold bracelet. And considering Drumboardist is keeping his he just shield, he's probably hoping to run into the tail right now.
And someone did ask if Drumboardist is going to have enough offensive power at this point. I believe using the Ice Sword right now.
Yeah, considering he got the power gauntlet, Ice Sword is still okay.
It's what I would call kind of my minimum sword. It's the really hope I'm not worse off than that.
This is the minimum sword if you got the power gauntlet, otherwise it's just not enough. You really want to have at least the Sun Sword, but Excalibur or Masmium are always nice to have. But right now he's got Nuke, he's got some charges of Fade, he's got the power gauntlet, he's got Temper, and he's got the Ice Sword, so with 2 ribbon, I mean, Temple of Fiend is possible to get through. Ooh, Blue Dragon got Toxic.
Won't affect anything on his first round. And Tristal gonna go to the Sea Shrine first, and that is going to be bad news for him.
Yeah. So we can see both runner gambling here. Drumboardist with Earth Cave and Tristal with Sea Shrine.
Such a fascinating play out in strategies, and what am I thinking? What is the other guy thinking? And looks like Drumboardist is thinking, I want to check some more treasure chests.
Right now I feel like Drumboardist is only looking for a good weapon. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to check like the lock chest in the Dwarf Cave and Canaria Castle, Elfland. Unless he can find something in the Sky Castle.
Yeah, those are so free and quick to check that it makes a lot of sense to go look at them, especially when you're still needing some power. The other thing Drum might want to consider is tacking on just a couple more levels before you go into that Temple of Fiends. His levels are not bad by any stretch, but you just don't know what you're going to roll, and if you have that extra 2, 3, 4 levels, it can make a difference.
Yeah, especially if you run into, oh yeah, Drumboardist got this tail. But yeah, I was going to say, especially if you run into a 220% stat Fiend, you want to be a higher level. And he's got the adamant, so right now he's got his weapon.
And it looks like he's saying, well, he will finish the Sky Castle, it looks like, but I believe he took a pass on the other treasure room, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's not going to check anything else.
So it looks like this will be true go mode for him now.
So sadly for Tristal, he went to the wrong dungeon. All the other key items were in Sky Castle.
So Tristal is going to lose time checking these treasure chests, that's for sure, but we have not seen Temple of Fiends yet, so what are those monsters going to roll? What kind of levels are you going to need? If they're strong enough that these runners need significantly more levels, things could still play out in Tristal's favor from having farmed more experience.
And yeah, as the chat is pointing out, Tristal may find a Mass Mune in the Sea Shrine too. So he would be in go mode as soon as he ran into the crown instead of checking all those other chests.
That is a good point, but he will still have to get there first.
Yeah.
What if Masamune is in Mermaid? That's an interesting question as to whether or not we see it, but I imagine if you're Tristal and you're here, you gotta check everything before you leave. So the Bridge of Destiny for Drumboardist.
So, this is time to pray for some Warmech.
Ice Blue pointing out that Tristal is behind in levels, and yes, you're correct, but what I mean is if Tristal has to go do more, he's going to end up with more levels. So I think by the time they get to Temple of Fiends, we'll actually see Tristal go in at a higher level. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think it'll happen. Files just got here and asking to be filled in. So we've got Tiamat, and I'll do a run through after this. Yes, there were Tyros killed.
Tiamat just fast herself.
That could be unpleasant. We saw Carry hit very hard.
Yeah.
In fact, Carry 1 did wipe Drumboardist.
Let's see. Oh, no. Okay. Only 31. Anything else from Carrie? Carrie, yeah. Tiamat? Yeah, she just killed the thief. Well, 215 damage is pretty low for Tiamat, especially on the thief. And after a fast.
Hold will not be effective, but another weapon in Tiamat's arsenal. And Tiamat goes down. So don't think that was too many hit points for Tiamat because...
Oh, and she rolled pretty low HP and agility.
Yeah, so I wanted to see that before we went through a full recap, and we're about to get a look at Kraken, so I'll go fast here. Fighter and Thief were the forced parties. We saw TNT and Slab in the Marsh Cave. The Power Gauntlet and the Floater were in the Volcano. Tristal missed the Floater the first time and had to go back. The Ruby was in Castle Ordeals, which was an extra dungeon that Tristal did in the Ice Cave. We saw a ribbon in the Eye-guarded chest in the Earth Cave. We had a second ribbon, which is where Tristal found out that a chest had been missed. The white shirt was in the waterfall, and we found the crown in the Mirage Tower, and didn't see anything significant that I noticed in the Sea Shrine, although we didn't go to see the mermaids yet. And I got all that in before we got to Kraken.
Well, congrats. Okay, now let's see what Kraken got in store. And Drumboardist is going to pick up his Excalibur and probably going to class change before heading to Sea Shrine.
Which that would be the one thing I forgot to mention. We found Adamant and Tail in the Sky Castle, so Drumboardist is going to class change and equip Excalibur.
Yeah, worth mentioning that Adamant and Tail were right beside each other on two chests in Sky Castle. It's always nice to enter a room with like 4 or 6 chests and get 2 key items in there.
File saying you should have ditched work to see this seed. Well, I don't know about that, but could have looked on your phone. I mean, get the Twitch chats.
And there's still the VOD if you cannot watch it live.
pointed out in chat they think that both runners will go to Temple of Fiends with Excalibur. I don't quite know that for sure just yet. Tristal being here, gotta imagine we're about to see the mermaids. But he's gonna find that crown before he finds Tail and Adamant, so it's not a given he's gonna find them.
Yeah, if Masmune is in... Oh, and you got his third ribbon.
Third ribbon was in Sea Shrine, so that's helpful.
But yeah, if Tristal happened to find Masmune in Mermaid Village, I don't think he's going to class change or pick up Excalibur. He's gonna get the crown and just rush toward the end. Because he must... I mean, there's no way Tristal doesn't know he's behind right now.
No, I think he knew he was behind from the moment he had to go back to Volcano, because what are the odds your opponent made that mistake as well? Then he came here instead of going to Sky, probably hoping that Crown was going to be here instead, figuring his opponent would go to Mirage because of the location of Bottle.
Meanwhile, Drumboardist is picking up his Oxyalin, is going to head to Sea Shrine too. And yeah, as you were mentioning, Tristal knows he's behind because he gambled Sea Shrine, he won't find anything, you have to go back to Volcano, and Drumboardist must think he's behind too since he wiped on carry, he went to Earth Cave first, he did not find anything. So right now, they both think they're behind.
He finds the black shirt. Which, does he want to drop anything for the black shirt? He's holding on to Aegis Shield and Opal, so he's still thinking about the possibility of class change. And he opts to give up on the Zeus Gauntlet.
Well, I think he got the Thor Hammer, so this is the wise move.
I believe you're correct there, and I did say back at the time that I prefer Thor's Hammer between the two because I need more armor slots than I do weapons.
Oh, we got the Sun Sword. So this is not Masmune, but this is really good.
So he's gonna have to check the rest of these chests before he leaves, because he's still hoping to find Crown here. But the chances are getting slim. And this is the point where he's got, I think, one more treasure chest to check here, maybe two.
Question in the chat, where is the crown? The crown was on the first floor of Mirage Tower.
Yeah, so as soon as Tristal finds that, he will, with that Sun Sword, gotta imagine, go straight through.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to open any other chests. Especially since he already got a good weapon, he's got 3 ribbons, there's no reason to try to find anything else other than this crown.
And this is just a case where both runners played their best strategy, what they thought was right at the time. Like Drumboardist going to Sky first and Tristal going to Sea first, and it just worked out better for Drumboardist on this one.
Yeah. Both runner did some really wise move according to their situation, but it just happened to work at Drumboardist advantage this time. They both went to the wrong dungeon, but there was nothing wrong with this decision.
And here's 2 of those easy chests you check when you're in go mode still, because hey, yeah, you could still have Masmune, and Drumboardist didn't find that 3rd ribbon, so it could be in one of those too.
These are the other 3 you were talking about. Oh, he got Opal Bracelet.
Not a bad find at all, but it's still not the crown. He'll take the reset to get a different encounter and make his way over to the Mirage Tower. Be interesting to see.
He's getting his chime.
Okay, I was wondering if we were going to see Drumboardist get through Kraken before Tristal found the crown, and I don't think there's any doubt now that's what we should see. Someone calling for Masamune to be in Vanilla Chest. Well, if it is, we're never going to know.
At that point, I don't think we're gonna know where Masamune is, no matter what.
Asked if there is any chests in Temple of Fiends that they would actually check. That is an interesting question. In this case, no, because of the changes in the RNG table that are enabled from round 2 on in the tournament. If we were on round 1 flags without that one box checked, then yes, people doing RNG manipulation will walk down and check one treasure chest because the steps work out right for them. But we're not under those flags, so we won't see anyone go out of their way to check a Temple of Fiends treasure chest. Although Joey makes a good point that they might do the Phantom chests.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like Drumboardist could check those 2 chests since he's 1 ribbon short, but I don't think Tristal is going to bother.
So obviously there's a lot to like in Trombonist's position right now. He's going to have his 4th Orblet after this fight. He's got a little bit more levels. He's got class change in Excalibur.
Yeah. And I just want to point out for someone in the chat saying they wouldn't check Phantom Chest with RNG manipulation. The entire Phantom room are safe tiles, so they cannot run into any encounter in that particular room.
And this does bring up a good point that someone asked in chat. Tristal was able to recover from the missed treasure chest as fast as he possibly could, because he was going to full clear Earth anyways looking for Crown. He picked the right place to go back to in Volcano. He picked the right room to go back to in Volcano. He went to the biggest collection of treasure chests, and that's exactly where Floater was. So he could not have recovered from this any better than he did.
Yeah. Also, what gave Tristal some time to catch up is that Drumboardist took the gamble to go to her cave first. Because since they both had the slab at that point, the wise play would have been to head towards Mirage Tower, and they probably both know that. But since Drumboardist wiped on carry, he took a gamble and went to her cave first. This is what gave Tristal some time to catch up.
So Tristal now with the crown, and we expect him to basically not check any more treasure chests unless they are... I don't even think there's any that are on his way enough. He would check them at this point.
I don't think so. Oh yeah, Drumboardist is going to check some of the magic shop to buy some spells for his knight and ninja.
Yeah, extra life too is not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, he's probably going to pick up the Ice 2 heal, Ice 2, yeah, Ice 3, maybe, Nuke, Life 2, and Heal 3.
Question in chat, would the tiebreaker be tonight if Drum does pull this off? That has to be scheduled with the runners, so we'll find out what they say. Because they don't plan in advance, they just take it one race at a time and figure out the schedule that they need to figure out. But it is definitely a possibility.
Now Drumboardist he got his key. He's ready to head towards Temple of Fiend.
Although, will we see him take any of the treasure rooms for Masamune? Probably not, considering he found Excalibur, but would still be a thought for having that ninja. Although he did pick up a good sword for the ninja, didn't he? Now that I think about it.
Before he went back to Canaria, I was going to say he did not even pick any spells for his ninja, so he probably planned to kill him off. Yeah, and I think this is what's going to happen. He did not even bother to pick Nuke.
Well, your decisions are made. Or did he take a moment to think about this? Oh, he's going to use up inventory to line up his heals. I very much favor that decision, by the way.
Especially when you only have 5 houses to burn. So, at that point, this is really Drumboardist race to lose.
But a lot of unknowns sit ahead of us. When you're talking about things getting 220% bonus on their stats, you can run into some really unpleasant stuff. We've still not seen Death Touch.
No, we have not.
I don't think we've seen either of the nukes or nuclear.
No, we have not seen it either.
And we get a look at some gas dragons here. So,
Gas Dragon can be pretty nasty. Even if they don't have any really nasty spell, they still got a lot of HPs.
And they are unrunnable, so you're going to have to finish this fight.
But they don't seem to be so bad right now. They seem to have rolled pretty high absorb though.
Dead getting up to level 15, that's just a little bit low for Pain's. So our first look at the Phantom. And he lands a decent hit on Dead, who I believe does have that gold bracelet equipped now, but we'll say goodbye to him. Not going to check the validation chests. And I don't think we'll see either runner take extra steps at this point, because both of them are probably feeling behind.
Yeah. This is why this is a pretty interesting race, when both runners feel like they're behind.
Tristal did try for the Bane strats, by the way. And can't fault him for that at all, because it only has to work once to save you time. Oh, I was pulling for that so bad. Tiamat had fire too. I don't believe we saw that with...
No, I think she only just fast herself and just physically attack when Drumboardist.
There was also hold. Also had hold.
Oh, that's right.
So there you go. Just because we see a monster doesn't mean we've necessarily seen everything that monster can do. Who's ahead? It's fair to say Drumboardist is ahead right now, unless he runs into something that is just an absolute wall. Definitely his race to lose right now.
Yeah.
Although ironically, if we could hear him talking, he'd probably be sweating that dot done coming anytime.
Yeah, right now I feel like he's gonna be all on the fire floor when Tristal managed to get into Temple of Fiend.
I'm being corrected on my pronunciations, and thank you, because sometimes I have to get it right 4 or 5 times before I learn it right. Drumboardist.
So while Drumboardist is clearing up some earth, and Tristal is going to get and do his shady drag deal with Matoya, let's give some love to our runner. Just follow them, they're working hard to give you some good races.
The 155 mark, you know, both runners have to be thinking 2-hour mark. With what I've seen in this seed, it's very possible.
Yeah, because there was nothing really bad or trolly, I mean chest-wise. Pretty much every items were kinda easy to find, so they just happened to go to the wrong dungeon first.
Tristal gonna check the treasury in Elf. I didn't expect that from him, but he sees the light axe and he wants it. But now he's gonna go straight to Temple of Fiends without checking any of the other treasure chests. I guess since he was already there, might as well look for Masamune. And we get our first look at Lich Revisited. So is the 156 mark for Drum to get here. We'll see how that compares with Tristal.
Yeah, the Drumboardist spent a lot of time on the earth floor. While he's going to get through the fire floor really easy. But sadly, this is not the floor you want to get across easily. I always hate to have it too easy on the fire floor because I always feel like I'm going to run into lots of encounter on the water ones.
Four gas dragons for Tristal. And Carrie's got Thunder. And looks like decently high absorb.
Okay, after being struck by thunder, Lit 2 is pretty nice.
.400 damage hit there, another 300 from Nuke.
Okay, Carrie rolled really high HPs.
And she shakes
And
off Ice
nuclear!
like there it is! I knew it was out there somewhere. Oh, it takes out Nuke and Dead. But terminated Carrie and Life 2 will quickly undo that damage.
Carrie seemed to have rolled about 1.5 thousand HPs, which is about almost twice as what she's usually got.
So again, stats in this round can be up to 220% of vanilla.
And
Tristal check the
checking.
validation chests.
Yep. And we found nothing. 2,000 gold and a cap.
Drumboardist is going to get onto the water floor here before Tristal makes it to Lich.
And immediately run into 5 waters.
Zeus Gauntlet used. I believe he's also... Was he the... Who got the black shirt? Did Tristal get the black shirt, I think? But he's got Ice 3, so not an issue.
Yeah. I don't think Drumboardist got the black shirt. Otherwise, there's no reason to use Zeus Gauntlet.
Drum using the bottom of the rooms. Well, not so much as I start talking about it, but trying to take advantage of that and not getting into fights. And we get our first look at Kraken revisited.
Okay, starting off with Lit 2.
Not a scary opener.
That's actually what you want to see from Kraken. And Fire 3 right afterward.
Crystal's about to get his look at Lich. And it was about 156 when Drumboardist went into that fight, so it'll be about a 4-minute lag for Tristal to get there.
And there goes Kraken.
716 damage, nothing to sneeze at.
And goes down Lich.
And the vampire's using Stop. And he did not get out of there on round 1, I don't think. So,
another
gonna cost
question
a
in
little
the
more
chat:
time.
is movement speed sped up from the normal game? There is a run button that's been added for racing's sake.
Yeah, after playing the randomizer, I'm not even sure I have it in me to play true vanilla. I do 100% through the randomizer just to get those speed ups because it is such a nice feature. You'll fall in love.
Yeah,
And
the speed up and the buy 10 options are really nice.
So here comes Tiamat, and he goes with Zap! And he takes out Dead and Nuke.
And Carry is using Thunder against Crystal, but with his 3 ribbon he should be fine.
Tristal apparently going to use the Bane Sword strats against these fiends. Slow 2.
Yeah, well, considering Tristal only got 1 really good weapon, there's no point in using the Thief to do anything else.
So, that slow was not... Oh, and Nuclear!
Yep.
Although the Nuclear, I think, was actually more preferable than the slow, but still, Drumboardist is going to get through this. I think Tiamat had low HP.
Yeah, she had low HP, but Nuclear still hit the fighter for 300.
And Drum wisely healing up. Again, I'm paranoid, but I usually get that one more fight before getting off Tiamat's floor, so I'm always one who likes to heal right after the Tiamat fight.
And you're lucky if you run into only one fight between Tiamat and Chaos Floor.
Crystal is going to terminate Carry.
And Drumboardist had enough of those vampires.
Oh, at over 2 hours, that just has to be killing you to be stuck in this fight, not knowing where your opponent is, but worried the whole way. But then again, I think you also have to take a little bit of confidence in the fact that your opponent didn't dot done yet, and I mean that for both runners.
Yeah, but both runners are probably thinking this is only a matter of seconds now.
Was asked if the fight is unrunnable. It was not unrunnable, but they're casting AoE stun, and they were really messing up his ability to run.
Yeah.
But here he is on Chaos's floor. He'll reorder his party.
I see files in the chat saying those fast vampire will hit like a truck. I think the worst I've ever seen was fast ghosts. This was terrifying. So let's see what Chaos got. Ooh, Kraken got Blaze. And Chaos got the exact opposite.
Going with the Blizzard. I like mine with Oreos, personally. Ice 2 now from Chaos.
Yeah, when you're up against Chaos, you really want to see anything that ends up with a 2.
Tristal on the water floor. He's lost his white mage.
Yeah, he lost him to Kraken. He's going to have to burn through his heal potion stocks.
So interesting that whereas his thief was a sacrificial lamb before, now you kind of need him to stay alive.
And Chaos rolled pretty high, absorb 8 hits from the Excalibur, only hit for 80.
We still have an unaccounted for nuke. That could be in his list.
Especially since right now Chaos is only going with Ice 2 and Lit 2.
But boy, when you're putting up these low numbers, it's just torture.
Especially at that point. And there he goes.
G.
So Drumboardist.
G.
Drumboardist just won the second race, and there's going to be a third one.
Drumbonis in chat loses his mind. How? I hope we get him in here and we can have a conversation about that. Official SRL time was 2 hours, 7 minutes, 19 seconds for Drumboardist. What a race.
Tristal going against Tiamat, considering all that happened, is pretty impressive.
Drum, thank you for joining us. GG.
GG,
what
Drum.
happened?
Tristal missed the floater in Volcano.
Oh no. Where is he?
He is, I think, just got through Tiamat.
Yeah, he got through Tiamat too. He's heading towards Chaos's floor.
And so he was right on my damn heels. Okay, so he
Drum,
probably
thank you
went
for joining
right
us.
back. I mean,
GG.
you gotta. I mean, I freaking wiped the carry. How?
And he nearly did as well, by the way. He got through that with just his fighter alive at low health.
Black
and
Mage,
then
actually.
didn't heal, and then ran into two
I got
fires.
through with the fighter.
Yeah, Tristal got through with only his Black Mage, I think.
Well, to all the fans out there of them dino stakes, I killed one, and the next one I let live as a warning to the others. Holy cow, that was crap. I mean, I'm walking through the Earth Cave the entire time I'm going, I have to, or not Earth Cave, Mirage, because I mean, it's go mode, but I'm like, all right, I need a Mass Moon, I need a Tail, or I need a Sun Sword, because my damage output is not too great right here. Like, Tail, and then Adamant. All right, we're good, let's go, let's do this, all right.
A warning to the others? Yeah, that's why they ate your Black Mage, but I'm just gonna go back to tracking.
You know what? And the really, really stupid thing that came to mind after I wiped to carry, because initially I was like, these Agamas, they're not worth the grind. I'm going to go to the eye. I know I don't have warp yet. That's fine, because I need to fight the eye, so I'm doing the 2-loop anyways. The thing that bothered me is that I'm sitting here thinking, oh, yeah, you know what? Hang on, I lost my train of thought. Where the hell was I going with this? Something about fighting the eye and such.
Wipe out to carry, not fighting the Agmas.
Huh, that's weird. I don't know where my train of thought was at the start of that sentence, but it departed pretty quick. Oh, the wipe, yeah, and then I left to go to the ice cave. I wiped, and the entire time I'm sitting here thinking, I have dead meat. I have meat. I have a thief. I could have resurrected him. He could have been a meat shield. That would have been one more turn, and as we saw, that would have been enough! I'm a little freaking out right over here, I'm sorry.
By the way, to satisfy your curiosity, possibly, Tristal went to Ordeals, didn't find anything.
Okay, yeah, I did not do the gamble, because it's Trist. It's either you gamble hard, or nah. I remember to do Cardia, Sardia, and saw abject nothing, so I'm like, let's go. And then I forgot to actually go. I remembered thinking, okay, when you leave Mirage Tower, head north, because you need to get the Oxio. What did I do? I headed north, and then didn't go to Gaia, and then started going off to the left. Holy crap. Hey, Tristal's done! Woo!
Well, you both put on an incredible race, and we were sitting here thinking the whole time that all your decisions made sense. Where you went, just everything seemed to make sense on the route as he gets through chaos.
Nice.
And it's just certain things worked out better.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like going to Earth Cave first was a gamble for you, right?
It was. I figure, okay, as tanky as the Agamas were, I got a little bit of leveling off of the eye, but I need something that I feel like I can handle. And about halfway through, I remembered, oh, right, wolves have, all of the deadly... Oh, well, I'm already in here. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, Great Wolf were awesome in this seed.
And ogres, too. They're just like, hi, you like the... Oh, and Imps had, what was it, crack? Just early game. Man, I'm glad we had Nuke, because we ain't getting out of this alive otherwise.
Yeah, but still, to recap, I think Great Wolves had, Lit Tree, Blizzard? No, they had Frost, they had Scorch, there was something else.
Yeah, there was something, I want to say there was also, Geists had something else, early on that made me go, nope, we're getting out of this.
Geist had Cremate, and Spectres had Squint.
Yeah, always a fun thing you want to see when you're, level 8. Black Mage at the back of the party just going, don't let anything look at me!
Hey,
It's
Chad,
okay.
if you have any questions for our runners, feel free to chime them in and we'll pass them along.
Oh yeah, and Chaos having lit too. Hey, who was it? There was I think it was Mudgalls. One of them had lit. Wow. Oh boy, I'm so scared. And then he punched me for 112. Oh, okay, yeah, let's get out of here.
Mudgulls had Lit 2, I remember seeing that. I don't know if they had Lit 1, simple Lit, but I know they had Lit 2.
Tristal joins us now. Good job. You
GG,
put up
Tristal.
a terrific effort coming back from that.
Yep, GG to Drumboardist. Well played.
They told me you missed the floater. How did you make this comeback? Well, it's you, so we know how. But come on, man.
Yeah, I feel pretty bad about missing that floater. At least I found it once I realized I missed something pretty quickly, but yeah, it feels bad, man.
So ultimately, I'm sitting here thinking, I didn't win this. Trist missed a chest, and that's it.
Well, I played bad. You played better than I did. You deserve to win.
I played all right.
You played good enough. That works.
There we go. Good enough to not fail is good enough for me. Now we'll see game 3 where you probably just kicked me. It was almost, what was it, Red Mage Black Belt? I might as well just forfeit it right then. Because especially, we've seen everything that Red Mage would have had in this run. You would have had it done in like 112. I'd still be puttering around.
No way. No, not with Crown Hunt that late. Crown and Air makes it so it's always a tougher time. So, nah. I mean, I think I would have done better for sure with a black belt than what I had to work with. But
yeah, I mean, I had a wipe to carry after the grind, so my reaction was,
ooh, yeah.
No, I'm going to go get the floater, and I'm going to see if the eye is better, and he was marginally. So I got red 18, go, everything's too hard. Let's try the Earth Cave. No, it has wolves. You're already in here. Just go, just finish.
Yeah, actually, I had a super clutch carry fight. I think I made it out there with just the wizard surviving,
yeah,
or the black mage rather.
The fighter. Screw that carry forever.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Well, and Chad making a very good point here, Drum, that shouldn't be sold too short. You did come back from a carry wipe after losing that grinding, so that was a very impressive recovery on your part as well.
The biggest thing that annoyed me about that wasn't even the loss of the experience, which sucked, but I figured I'd find something else to get the level somewhere. I'll freaking go fight fires. They seemed okay for a bit. The thing that bothered me the most was I was like, oh, I didn't have enough money for warp. Do I want to earn enough money before going into the volcano? Nah, that's going to be like 7 or 8 fights. And so losing the grind, look at my money and go, oh, I can't get warp. Oh, we're going in the ice cave.
Tristal, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this question. Once you open that last treasure chest, I'm not asking for the first thought, but when you go to actually make that decision where you're going to go, what treasure chests you're going to look for, what was your thought process on that?
I mean, it's mostly just like I had 100%ed everything pre-floater in my mind, so I had to try and figure out where was it possible that I missed all the chests. And as I'm doing like the fights leading me out of Earth Cave, I know I've cleared all of Earth Cave because I just did that. I got Titan's Tunnel, I got Ordeals. I mean, it's hard to not get everything in Ordeals. I did Ice Cave. I'm just like running through all the possibilities in my head. Now I got Matoya. I'm pretty sure I got all the Marsh Cave. It must be Volcano somewhere. I do have a bad habit. There's one room in Volcano in the penultimate floor. There's one branch that sometimes I miss on occasion, and I was thinking it might be that, but I was also...
The one with the 3 chests, and one of them is a dupe with the one up in the top left.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, every time I walk past that and I think, is this back to the entrance? Nah, and it isn't.
Yeah, and so I also knew the first time I went in the big chest room, I had missed a chest because I got into an encounter right next to it. And so I went back there just on a hunch, and it was there, and there was a very long 4-letter word uttered on my stream when I found that. So yeah, I figured it was probably pretty over as soon as I screwed up the floater, just because it took me so long to go through full Earth and complete that. And I didn't even really get any equipment that could have made me come back any better. I think I maybe got an extra ribbon or 2 over you probably, but the real problem was no like Mazmune or something like that for me. I didn't find the tail either, so I couldn't even upgrade my ninja.
Yeah, you had one more ribbon than Drumboardist.
Oh, he had all 3?
I did.
Dang.
Third one was in Sea Shrine. He did that before Sky.
Yep.
Oh, and that's where the crown was. So I was in go mode and he was looting. Wow, you were 4 minutes behind and you full cleared. Okay, no one mess with Trish. I don't know how game 3 is going to go, but I'm going to assume it's going to be. And Drumboardist is still looking, and now he's actually stopping and just standing and looking into the fountain in Conaria. I think he's just judging himself about his life decisions at this point.
By the way, Tristal,
the console off.
By the way, Tristal, if it can be any kind of relief, I know exactly how you felt because I did the exact same mistake with the exact same item on my final race against.
Oh god, you did! It was in that chest right next to the fires.
Exactly. I forgot.
I remember watching that. That was unfortunate to see.
I remember your next race, you walked right back in and looted it about 12 times. Like, I'm looking in you now!
Yeah, I opened it like 5 or 6 times, but I know exactly how you felt, and yeah, I probably thought the exact same thing you did when you opened the final chest. This is heartbreaking.
Yeah, that about captures it.
But you remember, well, at least you went to the exact right place at the right time and managed to come back, and you catch up quite a lot. Only finished 4 minutes behind considering what happened. This is really good. And still, Drumboardist, as we said, you wiped on carry and managed to keep going. You took a gamble with Earth Cave, so you almost followed the exact same path, except that Tristal went to Ordeals and Drumboardist did not. Otherwise, it was pretty much the same path, and that was a really interesting race.
Oh, he didn't get the tail, did he? So I actually spent the 5 minutes, not that long, but however long of Adamant, Excalibur, and then leveling up.
Yeah, I didn't find tail or adamant. I imagine they were either both in air or behind key chests.
They were in the first cluster on the third floor of floating cave, flying castle thing, howls, moving something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gentlemen, you have one more match to decide this round. Drum, let me start with you. Anything you're hoping to see out of that seed, including different parties, level 1 nuke, anything like that you're hoping you find?
Let me see. How about we walk into the Temple of Fiends and it's TNT Slab Mazamoon? Because odds are Black Belt will be on the table, and I'll go, okay.
And Tristal, how about you?
Hey.
Tristal, anything you hope to see?
I'd like to see a good suite of Black Mage spells. Not having fast was kind of an issue here. I really didn't. I mean, obviously level 1 nuke is pretty good, and we had access to warp, although it was a little, it was like level 6, so it wasn't amazing. But good Black Mage spells usually equals good run for me. So.
Yeah, the only reason I picked up Exit on the White Mage was so I'm like, all right, turn in the crystal to Matoya, and we go. And all right, now I got the key, and we go. That's it. I think I maybe broke even on time. I am not a clever person.
My previous statement, how about we just get Floater in Temple of Fiends and just end it? That'd be fine by me too.
I like it. Okay, so TNT, Floater, Nazmoon. Yes? All right. Make it happen, Ice Blue. And no more crack on the imps. Come on.
I just had to laugh at that one. That was pretty funny.
Okay, no cracks next time. They just have nuclear instead.
I feel like just cremate would be plenty enough. You don't waste a good spell for the later monsters, and cremate is just gonna wipe anyone at level 1 or 2.
True. I mean, I was sitting here thinking, oh, we're getting the bad abilities out of the way early. By the way, Carrie 2 had nuclear. I don't know if she lasted that long for you, but oh boy.
I don't remember. I think so. That Carry 2 fight took me a while. Because I was just working with a Sun Sword, so.
And I think Tiamat 2 had nuclear too.
One of them did, and I didn't like it.
Kraken punched her in the face pretty good, but still managed to make it through. Chaos was pretty easy, so.
Yeah. Well, he was tanky as hell, but I mean, still.
Yeah, but it wasn't very lethal. So
I had to stop and go, wait, that was 8 hits for 101? Do I need to power gauntlet again? What is this? Did I overflow?
No.
Don't tell me I overflowed.
Hey, at least you got to 8 hits. I'm doing 3 hits here, because I don't have fast or adamant or anything like that.
Yeah, and something busted my fighter's ribbon and put him to sleep. I'm like, what? What is happening today? Well, that happened. I don't know what to make of it. Well,
rejoice and hope it happens again.
It was an incredible race to watch. We, as viewers, couldn't have asked for much more out of it.
How about imps with nuclear?
Bring
and
it on.
No AoE.
Well, what the imp didn't give us, the Great Wolf did, so.
Oh, that's true.
Ugh.
And ogres.
Yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking too. Made me lose quite a bit of time in Marsh. I had so many ambushes, it felt like, this run. I honestly think if I didn't have as many ambushes as I had, I might have made a race out of it despite the incredible mistake. Like, I think it might have been pretty close, although my water floor was really good, so that kind of balanced it out.
I mean, if I had just remembered to resurrect my thief, I wouldn't have wiped on carry, I wouldn't have had to grind on the eye. There's a lot of things we could have just done better. And there's a lot of things that we could have not had given to us.
Let's both play better next time.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. If anything is going to screw the next round over, let's have it be the game and not ourselves.
Exactly.
All right,
Incoming
thanks for the commentary,
4,000 HP chaos with Tier 4.
Oh yeah, baby. Do it.
Well, we saw a great race, and again, thank you to both of our runners. I think it's about time to return the channel over to Speed Gaming. Put up the runner links one more time in there. They both put on a great event for us tonight, so please show your appreciation with some follows. And we'll definitely look forward to match 3 of this round between the two of you.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, y'all.